All right.
When the world feels heavy, like it's all gone wrong, Cam brings the laughter, keeps us rolling along. David's in the corner, sipping soda with a grin. Dustin's got the stories, let the chaos begin. Take a breath, we're here to unwind. Even when it's crazy, it's a good time. Calm down, it's fine, take it step by step. We're sitting on the couch, laughing with the missteps. Cam, David, and Dustin guiding our ride. Embrace the absurd, let the good vibes collide.
Welcome back to the Calm Down It's Fine podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know we are on crazy schedules, but deal with it.
We're more consistent than you are recording a podcast.
I taught on consistency in class tonight.
Oh, you did?
Variance.
Wow. That's
That's why we're here.
Yep. We've not been very consistent, but our crew is growing. My child's gonna die
if you
If you're watching on YouTube, here's the man.
look at him.
I'll get up and show you.
Look at him. The main reason why we haven't been around
It's because Cam was pregnant.
is because they made a baby. Kingston Casimiro.
So when's that thing going to
Manarese.
make some money?
He's 9 months behind.
Kind of a loser, if you ask me. And you say 9 months behind.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see him. Not that anyone cares.
Little baby.
He's a handsome little baby.
This one looks like you guys, which is cool. You guys brought home the right baby this time.
I know. Last time it did not look like we did.
Yeah, this one looks Italian. The other one looks like he believes he's part of a better.
Aryan brother.
Yeah.
He looks like he thinks he's better than everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You'll know when he starts shaving his head.
Yeah.
Something's off.
Oh, Hitler would be proud of.
No, you got. Yeah, this one, Kingston, is a Manarese baby. Kaysen is Hitler's youth.
Yeah. Yeah. So. It's all good. The mom is good. The baby's good. He came out 9 pounds 11 ounces. It's heavy. It's almost 10 pounds. My wife is very small, and it was quite a story actually. But we're here. Praise the Lord.
Yeah, every time somebody tells me like the length and the weight of a
Means
newborn
nothing to
baby,
you.
I go,
Doesn't mean anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
You go 9 pounds 11 ounces, and there's probably a lot of
Yeah,
people
you
who watching it and listening to this podcast went, "Wow,
I
9
know.
pounds." And to me, I went, "Is that big?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
don't know.
like Katie's son.
You showed me a 20-pound
their
baby.
boy was
I'm impressed.
like 5 pounds 5 ounces.
And that's normal.
It's a little small.
Okay, what
Kaysen
is
was normal 7'11".
7-Eleven?
Yeah, he was 2 pounds bigger, which is it's big.
So 7-Eleven and
When
9-11.
you're close to 10 pounds, that's
What's the heaviest baby?
I just thought of a joke, but I don't know if we should say it. 7-Eleven
he was
and
22 inches. Kaysen was 21 inches, but he was 11 days late.
so
Whoa!
Kaysen is gonna grow up and run a store,
Oh, that's sad.
and he's gonna be a pilot. So
I know.
Do you want to know the
7-Eleven and 9-11?
So
Guess how much the heaviest baby ever born was?
21 pounds.
Mm,
40. I think it was 40 pounds.
at least 12.
22 pounds.
I said 21. to
22
start.
is
You
crazy.
understand? That's like the size of a turkey.
That is. It is.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
But it died 11 hours after birth.
Oh, he died?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, dude, we have been getting really dark with it tonight.
That's what it says. Heaviest baby to survive.
Yeah, why did? I mean, to be fair, you probably didn't know you had to type that in, but
Oh, here's another one. So this one's slightly less, but not by much. This is also 22 pounds, but the other one beat it by a couple ounces.
David's leaving.
Did this one survive?
How was your work call?
It was good. It wasn't anything serious. He said that there was a thing going on at the office with all the, and he wanted me to be there.
The higher ups.
Mm-hmm. So I said, all right, I'll be there.
Yeah. So we were. She was supposed to give birth. The due date was not June 10th, and we were supposed to go on her family's vacation. So we're like, well, we'll just go and
See what happens.
We made it through the whole vacation, and the induction date was I'm sorry. He was due on June 1st. That's when he was due.
I'll tell you this. I had multiple people texting me being like, Kayla have the baby yet? And I was like, dude, I have not heard anything.
11 days over. She was due on June 1st, and her induction date was June 10th, which is 10 days.
Sheesh.
And I was telling them, like, look, guys, she's a little girl. Your second baby's usually bigger. I don't feel comfortable her going 2 weeks over. Like, but they did the induction on the 10th. So we made it to vacation, all the way through vacation.
Right.
Which, her belly was so big. And it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then we get to the induction. We come back because they had the beach house for a few more days. Kaysen was with them. My family was going to a meeting. Like, I was supposed to go too, but obviously we couldn't. So he's supposed to be born on June 10th, and they call us and say, we have 10 beds, Kent General, and they're all full. So we're going to have to push you further. And there's 4 people waiting. And I'm like, this was like at 6 o'clock. We were supposed to go in at 8. 7 o'clock. We're supposed to go in at 8. I'm like, of course. This happened last time, too. It was a nightmare last time. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. So they said they call us later tonight. Hopefully we can get in. So I called like 11. I'm like, listen, is there any chance of us getting in today or tomorrow? They're like, probably not. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to have to figure something else out. So I called Milford, which is where we wanted to go if she actually went into labor. But they don't do inductions, and she wasn't going into labor, and she was still like 11 days over. So I was like, she's feeling the baby move less.
Oh my goodness.
And they're like, if you're feeling the baby move less, we will not turn you away if you're almost 42 weeks. So I was like, all right. He's like, I'm just telling you that. That's all I can say. Because you have to be in like their medical group to do an induction.
Right.
If you're in labor, you can go there. But she wasn't in labor. So he's like, I will tell you this. He said like twice. I'm like, okay. So we were going to go in the morning. 2 minutes later, her water broke.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we were like, praise the Lord. So we went right into Milford. There was one other person on the whole labor and delivery floor, and she had already given birth. It's just me and Kayla.
That's nice.
No one was there. There was like 5 nurses getting us set up. They were so nice. The doctor was asleep in his office waiting for someone to go into labor. He comes in. And
he just wakes up. He's like,
so we're supposed to use with the OB that she has. We're supposed to go to Kent. Like that's what.
Right.
But everyone in the system was like 1,000 people in that system, and Kent's always overrun. So we went in at like 1 a.m, and then at 6:30 she had him, and it was she only 17 minutes of like late like pushing like boom. So it was like really a blessing.
Yeah, I had people because like there's multiple people who were like, Kayla was supposed to have him by like the end of May, right? And I was like, I think so. And then they were like, you haven't heard anything? I said, no, I haven't heard nothing. Yeah. So then it actually got to the point where I called Dustin. I was like, hey, Dustin, are you?
Yeah, he did.
I was like, have you heard anything? And Dustin was like, no. And I was like, I don't think this baby. I think she's just perpetually pregnant. I think it's just this is
her life now.
This is it. This is how
long have you been pregnant? 22 years.
Right, dude.
It's ridiculous.
Got a teenager going around.
They're like, you're not gonna believe how heavy the baby is. I'm like, how heavy is the baby? They're like, it's almost 10 pounds. I'm like,
and you're like, well, yeah, it should have been born. He should have been born 2 weeks ago. Of course, it's 22 pounds or 11 pounds.
It's got nothing on that.
I'm still stuck on that.
Yeah, he's
28 inches long.
We are good, and my wife's upstairs putting the other baby to bed now. 2 kids is interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
So,
one more.
You should try. Yeah, you should try for another one and see if you can beat this record.
I told my wife, I'm like, if we have another one,
22 pounds.
I'd love to have another one at some point, but
28 inches long.
One, it's another boy. I'm like, all bets are off. We're raising wild buck Indians. I'm like, it's just I can't like. If we have a girl, it's gonna have to be like, all right, boys, you can't speak like this, like, you know.
Stop being so rough.
Yeah.
There's a lady
if we have
present.
another boy, I'm gonna be like,
yep, send him to the mines.
it is what it is.
It's just gonna have to get
Like,
wild.
there's gonna be a lot of.
We're just gonna be that family where it's like, oh no, the Manorazy boys are back.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
Like,
Every time they get out of the car, everyone's covered in blood, and
that's what I was like, well, that's still gonna happen, but
Yeah.
like just the rowdy boys stuff.
like, what happened to you? Kingston put a fork in my eye.
Yeah,
It's no
I'm
big
like-
deal. I pulled it out.
You have to have. Oh my goodness! The lady in our church tonight asked prayer for her daughter. She said her daughter tripped and fell on a pencil, and the pencil went into her chest.
What?
I heard a terrible story.
The whole church,
What happens at your church?
dude. The whole church went like this. And she was like, yeah. She was like, so they didn't think it was big enough to stitch up, so they just like
Did they just
put medicine on it, and she has to like she has to like
What do you say?
she has to like keep it
Why
clean
didn't they
and
just
stuff
erase
like that.
it?
And I was like, so your daughter's just like walking around with a pencil-sized hole in her chest? That's the worst thing I've heard in any recent amount of
Here's
days.
one for
I
you.
just
A friend of my dad's, we visited Saturday, and his dad was telling me he's blind in one eye. I'm like, oh man, that's terrible. He goes, yeah. His friend was playing.
Dude, I know somebody blind in both
His
eyes.
friend was playing music. Like his neighbor was playing like really loud music.
The guy I know that's blind in both eyes, he also plays music.
He was playing really loud music. His neighbor was,
Oh, I
and
know
he had
what
told
you're
him to
saying.
be quiet many times, and he wasn't turning it down. And so he was really mad, and he came out of his house at night, went to his shed to get something. Apparently, he was going to give him the business, and he bent down, and he had one of those lawn markers.
Oh my goodness! No.
He bent down. He bent down, didn't see it, went straight into his eyeball.
Oh my gosh.
Straight in.
And that's
Boom.
why
And
you
he hasn't seen
wear.
it since.
And he's blind in that eye.
That's why you wear a headlamp everywhere.
He's just in the dark, and he just went out into
These
his
are
shed.
awful
opened it.
stories.
But before he was in the shed, and then he walked out and just mulling around the yard and went down, dropped something, went to pick it up. Ah! Yeah. So there you go.
Dude, I don't. Oh man. Oh, I'm gonna be
Just-
thinking about that.
Ooh.
And I don't. Oh.
I have
And then we're there, and he's talking about he's a welder, and he's like, I can't really see well out of this eye anymore. He kept talking about it. I'm like, I guess not.
Yeah, if he's a
No.
welder, he's not gonna be able to see out of the other eye either. Bro, stuff's horrible on your
guy.
eyes.
Sweet guy, but you know.
I guess now he doesn't even need a welding hood. He just stare straight at it. I'm like, oh yeah, that looks good. I don't have anything like
I
that.
know, I keep putting the pad on my eye.
I can't think about it. I'm
I
refusing
wanted to
think
say
about it.
this. We were talking about that episode.
Self-inflicted.
Self-inflicted, the last episode we did.
Yeah.
We were talking about like pain and his buddy chopping his foot off and all this crazy
You
stuff.
said you had no
And you said, I had
stories.
no stories. I have no
You
stories.
had no
Immediately
stories.
after, you said, well, actually, you're telling a story about the guy, the suicide bomber who walked up to the gate and blew his arms off. We're like,
That
well,
was
that's a-
hilarious.
Yeah, I was like, what? You told us immediately after we stopped recording, and I went, what do you mean you don't have stories? That's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, but that wasn't about me.
yeah, but
The
there
one
was
with
like,
chopping off his foot wasn't about.
Yeah, I didn't
I
chop
guess
my
that's
foot
true.
off
Your
either.
foot's still there.
Yeah,
My.
I don't know. I guess I didn't think about it.
Tell it again.
that was the funniest thing I think.
Oh,
I've
right
ever heard.
now?
Yeah.
So when we were in Afghanistan, I don't remember. This was maybe halfway through the deployment. I was on HKIA, which is the international airfield in the capital city, Kabul. It's a NATO base, or was a NATO base. Anyway, and I remember one day we heard this really loud boom. There's also a bunch of gunfire and stuff, but it was like we're like, well, that had to have been like a bomb or something, but that was kind of close. And then come to find out, this guy was like, and I don't. He had
You
to-
heard a boom, you said?
Yes. Anyway, come to find out, our intelligence guy was like, "Hey, so all that stuff we heard, it made no sense because it's like one lone suicide vest guy tried storming the base. Like it was the dumbest thing. Anyway, so he tried.
You wouldn't expect him to have a suicide vest on. You think it'd be a suicide jacket. How it tore up his arm.
I
It was-
know.
so I'm
he
not-
Had, he had
I'm not-
suicide
I'm not-
wristbands.
I'm not exactly sure what exactly how it all went down, but we had footage of it. It was pretty it was pretty hilarious. So this SFest guy tried charging the base, and then when he detonated the SFest, I'm guessing he must have been he was trying to be like the initial attack on the Turkish military police, because they were the ones watching. So yes, I think he was there
that
to
makes
blow
it
them
so
up.
much more funny.
He went from armed and dangerous to dangerous.
Yeah.
Dude, that makes it so much more funny if he's the
arms.
initial, because that means that there were people in the distance
Counting on him.
waiting, and they
Yeah.
were like, as soon as he does this, we're gonna charge.
So
and then
that's
it
how
happens.
that's how the terrorists operate. They initiate usually by some sort of explosion, and then it follows with the firefight or whatever.
I'm just picturing like a
It's
group of
great-
guys like.
it's a clear sign that it's
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm picturing a group of guys like, all right, as soon as this goes off, we're going in, and then it happens, and they're like, oh, all right.
something
like a chicken.
something with
Maybe
the
next week.
charge, like he didn't wire something up correctly, and only part of the charge went off, and it blew his arm off, and he's just like, what do you do now? He can do it. So he tried escaping. The Afghan police caught him, and he's
just waddling.
The Afghan police had like our old weapons, so they like M16s and stuff, but they didn't have any ammo in them, so they're just beating him with these rifles. It was so funny.
One arm gone.
You gotta hand it to him.
I said
He gave it his best shot.
He was armed and dangerous. Now he's
Yeah.
just dangerous.
That was
Oh, that's so funny.
it was a wild place.
Oh, it's funny.
I'm just picturing the guys that are like really counting on him to come
he
through.
runs away.
One time there were these two kids chasing each other there were two boys. They're probably like 8 years old. And we didn't know that they were like chasing each other and laughing, and then we got closer and they were peeing on each other. That was like their game. So
Well, you gotta entertain yourself.
Who among
somehow, I
us?
guess. Yeah.
Who among you could cast the first stone?
it was
I just realized while you're telling the story, I think this is the thickest I've ever seen your beard.
yeah.
It's the
It gets
Perfect
thicker.
time of year for it.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Yeah, dude. Man waited till it was 110 degrees.
It's because
It's-
you don't have to shave it anymore, right? That's why.
No. Well, it would be longer, but Mackenzie doesn't like it long, so I gotta keep her trimmed.
Nikki doesn't like mine long either, and I'm like, but I'm the man.
Yeah,
That's what-
I know. I told Mackenzie, she was like, "What do you want it longer?" And I was like, "Have you ever seen Duck Dynasty? You know the Robertsons?
Have you ever
That's
seen-
what I want."
Oh, see, I don't want
You
that.
ever
I
heard
do.
of Jeremiah Johnson?
But I
Have
will
you?
say, Saturday, dude,
Yeah, with the Mountain Man.
Jeremiah Johnson.
Yes.
dude, I had
Went further up the mountain.
longer
That's a great movie.
It was a great movie.
hair than I've had in a very long
You
time.
need to watch that.
And
Hair's long, too.
Saturday, I was like, I had asked Nikki like for 2 weeks to like cut my hair. I was like, it's gonna start getting hot. I was like, so it's gotta go. And then Saturday, I was like, well, not Saturday, but like earlier in the week, I was like, listen, you gotta fit me in. I was like, I'm getting desperate out here. And like, if you can't do it, like, I'm just gonna
Shave it.
have to or something.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I can get you in Saturday. So I sit down in the chair and she goes, what do you want me to do? I was like, get rid of it. It is 100 degrees. And
Yes.
she was like, but she's like, you had such a good hair day on Sunday. And I was like, get
Get rid of it.
rid of it. I'm just like perpetually miserable at work because it would stick to my forehead. So then I would pull it back and I put a hat on to keep it out of my face.
And you know how
But then
unprofessional you look when you're trying to talk to a customer or a contractor and you're just dripping sweat?
Yeah. And I put a hat on to keep it out of my
No one
face,
can
and then
take
the
you
hat
serious.
would make me even more hot. And I was just like, we got to get rid of it. So
I was leaving a customer's house today. Well, I mean, the last like 3 days, and their house is hot. I'm in the attic. It's like 130 degrees out there, and I'm talking to them, and the whole time I can see it on the floor, just sweat, and their floor's all wet because it's just dripping off of my body. Like, this is awful.
What are you supposed to do about it?
No, like, just. So half the time I just stop talking to them. Like,
For
look,
those of you who are just now tuning in for the first time, or maybe you're a newer listener, I'm Cameron. This is David.
did we not?
and we're good at this.
This is what episode is this one?
122.
Sure. I actually don't even
Yeah,
know.
we
Let me
need to
see.
we need to take a halt and restart and like reintroduce because no one who's listening
yeah.
has anywhere like
We have
there's
to do
no
a hard reset.
because there's no one who is coming to this and looking and being like
This is 123, same age as David.
nice. So we'll get to it soon. We'll do it. I actually considered, starting up again in the fall, but I feel like we can probably still do some.
Get like a hard reset in there. Yeah.
We need to start. We do need to look into the technology to do the.
I think me and David pretty much figured it out.
Like the Kelsey brothers.
Yeah.
What, on your streaming thing?
I did. We
got pretty close. I think we were probably like another 10 minutes away from getting it perfect.
Out, and then Mackenzie walked in the door, so he's like, "I gotta go."
Yeah. What, your stream or you were like a podcast?
No. We were messing around with. I was trying to figure out a way how to put multiple cameras on the screen.
We weren't actually doing.
Yeah,
anything.
we were just goofing around.
I called him.
What program do you use?
Well,
I still want to try that Riverside one.
You can do that. I use OBS.
Well, the Riverside one, it saves all the media to that program,
right?
And so you don't have to. I don't have to share it with you. I don't have to send it.
Yeah, that might be a good
because you'll have it. I'll have it. He'll have it, and it'll have video and audio, and you can make your clips out of it too through that program, which we could. That's what we need to do because we need to start doing that again too. When we read whatever, and also we should probably. I don't know, our theme song. I don't know if we're actually going to stay with the one that we have.
Yeah, somebody.
Most podcasts I don't ever hear. No, most podcasts I've never heard a podcast with words their theme song. Like you don't have to have.
I don't think most.
Only a couple.
I've heard a couple.
Steven Crowder's does.
I don't even know it.
Yeah, you're a strange animal. That's like someone wrote a song specifically for his podcast. It's been this thing for forever.
Been AI.
Well,
I'm joking. Anyways,
trained by day.
What's up with you? When are you gonna have a baby, David? I mean, I have two.
I knew you were gonna ask me.
I've got two now.
Actually, and I have because I knew you were gonna ask me. I have a rant prepared.
Why'd you think I was gonna ask you?
Because you had a baby. So I knew it was coming. But here's what I'm gonna say.
My baby is still on my chest, by the way. The newborns, if they sleep, they'll just melt on you like this. They'll just poop.
Here's what I'm gonna say, and if
just poop, just poop right on your hand, like I
do the same thing.
So, oops.
Catch me droop like that. There's poop coming out. I'll tell you that.
So first, that brings me to what I was going to say.
So I'll
poop it on your hands. And people who don't have kids who are listening to this, and Dustin can probably agree to some of this as well. But a thing that I've noticed is the only people who ask you when you're going to have kids are people with kids.
Yeah.
And when you think about it that way, it kind of sounds like a cult.
Yeah.
Because people who don't have kids,
when are you going to join the misery gang?
You know what? You know what people that don't have kids ask me?
What?
Hey, do you want to have fun? Right?
People with kids are like, when are you going to be as miserable as us?
Yeah, and on top of that, people with kids here's
people, I'm right here. I'm right here.
No, here's all right. No offense.
What's a good?
But here's what I've noted. Like people with kids, Cameron included.
Thank you.
Yep. He has two.
He's the only one here.
Those people.
I've noticed that children have the worst PR of anything ever in the history of anything. They have the worst PR because Dustin, tell me if I'm wrong on this right now.
Okay.
And Cameron's had kids for a couple years, so he doesn't even remember this. But when you don't have kids, bro, this is how people try to sell it to you. They sell it to you like this. They go, hey man. Well, it looks like you could do all that fun stuff because you don't have kids. Like, oh, you're going on vacations and you're buying stuff because you don't have. When you have kids,
that's
say goodbye to your free time. Say goodbye to your money. Say goodbye to fun.
Say goodbye to your life. So when are you having kids?
And then they wrap it up like this. But I love my little guy. When you having kids?
I've never done that.
It is the worst. It's the worst endorsement of anything I've ever heard in my entire life.
No, you're right. You're exactly right. That happens. It's funny. It's hilarious. But me and my wife said forever ago, like when people said that to us, it just is like when she was pregnant with Kaysen,
right?
It was like people would say like, "Go say goodbye to fun, your freedom," and we're like, we're not gonna do this when people ask because of course it's hard.
It's literally the worst sell ever.
Everyone in history's had kids and they're fine. So it's hard, but everything's hard, right?
Yeah. But when you lock them in a closet, it gets really easy.
It does. But my point was, I've never been like, Like, to me, I always say it's the best thing ever. You'll never regret it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Nothing I've ever done or had has given me as much purpose, or I've loved life. That's what I always say, because it's when people say the other stuff, I'm just like, well,
sounds scripted
you're
the way you
fun.
just said it.
Yeah.
I literally say it.
Scripted.
That's what I tell people. It's great. I mean, the bags under my eyes are telling. But
I used to tell people all the time, like, when are you having kids? And I'd be like, bro, I promised a witch my firstborn. Really not trying to live up to that deal. I used to say random stuff all of the time.
Jason was the worst sleeper in history. He didn't sleep for a year and a half. Like, he was just the worst. And now I know why. He's just crazy. Like, he's a nut. Like, all he wants to do is just go, 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 go. But, you know, if you don't mind sleep, if you
see, that's what I'm talking about. Gary literally just doubles down.
The problem is you just haven't lowered your standards enough to allow drugging your children to be acceptable.
Yeah, dude.
We're about the Benadryl stage.
I was gonna say,
he's about the right weight. I've been looking at the charts.
Start putting him on a Benadryl IV every night.
He's been sleeping great. The last 6 months, he's been an angel. Which, I mean, he's like, Daddy, night night. I'm like, yeah.
Like, Vicodin will do that to a baby.
Like, he was crying. He doesn't ever do that except when there's company here,
people in the house,
and he's like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you take him upstairs and you take the spiked bat and just,
100%.
Show him what's what.
Having kids is a cult, and children have the worst PR ever. Those are two things that I stand 10 toes on business.
Yeah.
Firmly on.
Guess what?
And with all of that being said, I guess we're aiming for January. We've got baby Neith on the way.
Yeah, so he told us this earlier today. He was for those of you who didn't see their Facebook video.
Yeah,
David Neith and Nikki Neith are having a baby.
Yeah,
a Jan 6 baby.
Yep.
After all of that, after all of that, you're gonna be so stupid. You were literally going to do exactly what you just said, though.
Oh,
you're
I'm part of the cult now. I'm part of the cult.
You'd be like,
I have to.
Well, we used to travel to Italy, Belize, whatever, all these other. I don't know.
As soon as the baby's
Athens,
born, you have to be like,
Alaska,
your life is gone now.
Peru, say goodbye to all the good times.
Yep.
Yeah, got your house done, the addition. I said this was next.
Part of the cult.
But if you keep guessing every week, you're bound to be right.
To be right eventually.
I guess
your addition's on your houses. You have your house. You have your addition. You have your fence. You have your shed.
Well, not to give you too much credit, but you were calling it almost the entire time. You started a little early, but the addition was to move.
I did say all that.
The addition was to move my office and stuff downstairs so that
the room
when we turn one of the rooms into a nursery, we don't nursery. When we turn into a nursery, we don't lose the.
I know the signs.
We don't lose the guest.
I don't know
bedroom,
how. I don't know how Dustin and Mackenzie putting up a fence and a deck in the backyard.
That's where I'm gonna live.
And getting dog kennels is a sign.
It's dog kennels for me.
So I'm looking for the signs. I can't see them though. The dog kennel.
And they're not speaking in tongues either.
They're moving a dog kennel in there. Oh, they redid the flower beds. That's not really a sign.
That's where the baby's gonna get its food.
I didn't see the garden.
Only the baby, not Mackenzie
Not
and
me.
Dustin won't be,
No.
but the baby
You
will
go
be
out
off
there
the
and you
grid.
get some rubber mulch.
Yeah,
You eat it. You
the
chew
baby
on
will
that.
be off the grid, live off the land. Not Dustin and Kenzie. They're being normal.
Yeah,
That's great, David.
trying to raise
really wonderful.
like a Spartan baby.
Seriously, you know this, but it's being a dad is it's the best.
Pits.
That's the best.
Truthfully,
thing
I
ever.
don't know that because I've never been one before.
You'll as soon as you see that baby, you're and I know with even just boys, like my whole world just it changed when I got married. Like it was just like okay, I have responsibility here. Like this is sincerely like something spiritual happens to you. Like
so I've heard.
Yeah, you don't remember that happened when you got married?
I thought you were still talking about the baby.
I'm saying when you get married, that happens, and when you have a kid, it's like
I thought you were still talking about the kid. I didn't
like
know
you love that thing more than anything, and it's like I would just immediately die for this thing that doesn't even
that I don't even know yet.
Can't even see me because it's I'm a gray blob, and I would immediately give my life for just nothing. I mean, just totally give my life for this thing, and but you'll get through all your baby will probably sleep great, and it'll probably be great. It'll probably
no, God's judgment is on its way.
You're fine.
Yeah,
you'll be fine.
How terrible of a child I was.
Yeah,
God's about to.
So, girl, boy, you're shooting for.
Personally, I would be fine with either,
which is appropriate to say. But then, what do you want?
What I want is I would like.
Don't say healthy.
I would like one of each.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously healthy. Anybody who goes, I just wanted to be healthy. Well, no, duh. Healthy. Everyone does. Shut up. No, I would like one of each.
You talking about you've never heard someone say, I'm really hoping it's unhealthy. I'd like for it to I want it to have some sort of a syndrome.
I think it'd be cool to have a breathing machine its whole life.
Yeah. I want an ear right here.
Yes, I hope it comes out with a head in the exact shape of a triangle.
Yeah. I would like
Lord help Nikki.
I think one of each would be cool. And I don't particularly mind the order of that. Nikki
wants a Siamese baby.
Top of her prayer list is a girl. So I'm like, if Nikki wants a girl, I'm fine with a girl. Right. So I would like.
She wants a girl just to have a buddy, like dude her up and do her hair.
That's basically what it is. She said if we had a boy, like I'd be useless. There's nothing I could do with him. But if I have a girl, like we could get dressed up and we could do her hair and we could do this. And
she would love.
She was like, I would be wasted on a boy. And I was like,
I'm glad that you said that, and it's going to be on the podcast. So when you do have a boy, I'm going to show him soon after
about how his mom
like your mom was like I'm not gonna have anything to do with
you almost got the pill.
Wow. Dude, Cameron's on another level tonight.
Hey, I've been up late. It's been hot outside and there's been very late nights and
little
man will sleep now, and then when I go to put him to bed last night, so it's important for like you to help your wife during this time. The postpartum. He's 2 weeks old today.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like, all right, I'm taking him first because they eat every 3 hours. And so it's not like, right now they don't really sleep through the night. They like wake up and have to eat every 3 hours. And then like in a month or two, they should start sleeping through the night. Like that's in a perfect world, that's what happens. He actually does great. He's been sleeping like 5 hours, like skipping, like going 2 hours past what his feeding should be.
Yeah.
So it's been great. But like last night, it was like 11:30 and I'm getting him settled. I told her go to bed. When he wakes up for his feeding, you can take him at that point. So it gives her a few solid hours to sleep, and mentally it's just it helps you think, oh, I can at least sleep some. So I get him ready. I am rocking him. He's awake, and I finally get him settled. I sit him in his like little bed, and he's asleep, and he goes. So much poop. And I'm like, and then his eyes are real big. He's like, wide awake. So I'm like,
that would make me up too.
I'm like, welp, I guess we have to change that. So I turn the lights on because I have to see.
Bring him outside, hose him off.
I put my hands over his eyes, turn the lights on, then fade my hands off his eyes so his eyes don't bleed out of his skull. Like the sun. And so he's wide awake. I take a cold wipe to his butt, and he's like, wide awake. So then I put him back, get him all ready again. Now we have to start all over, shaking him again, whatever. I'm like, this is for the dogs. But then he went to sleep, and he didn't wake up. It was like from 1 to 5:30, which is a blessing. So
as of right now,
that's good for a newborn though.
Majority of people have found out this week that we are gonna have a baby, and two things have happened. One, I've gotten approximately 732 name suggestions.
Oh yeah, let's talk about
so hey, if you're listening to this, stop that. And then
what about my name suggestion?
And then the second thing is multiple family members.
I think you should name it Henry.
And this is all right.
Henrietta. Or it's a boy.
Do you want to hear what I told him you should name it?
Yeah.
First name Lil, Lil. Middle name Dave, Lil Dave.
Lil Dave?
Yeah.
I like that.
Boy or girl? That's what he said.
Lil Dave.
Boy or girl? Lil Dave.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Same name.
If it's a girl, you can call her Daisy.
No, it's Dave.
And then the second thing that happened is multiple family members have said that come January, they're going to come and visit for a week or two. So we might have like a rotating door of nannies.
I'm telling you what, David? You want that first week, you want somebody there.
Oh, well, her mom.
Because I'm telling you.
Yeah, her mom is like.
It's that first week. It's really like Kayla's mom was here a couple days after to stay at night, and it's really nice. Like it's really nice because she just brings her in to feed the baby, but you don't have to worry about like anything else because it does. You get tired. That's the one thing I'll warn you about. The hospital, like when for Kaysen, like we're in there, we have the baby, and they're like, all right, here's the baby. They like walk out, and then you just have to.
Yeah.
Your wife's recovering, and you're changing the baby's diaper and swaddling it, and it's crying. You're trying to settle it, and she's recovering, and and you're there like, I'm supposed to get this. It's a lot. Like I was like, I was shocked. Like we were both like, what's happening? The second it was way easier, but just you'll get through that.
Her mom said that she's gonna come up to help, like when the baby's born. My mom obviously lives like across the street from my house. Yeah, so my mom and dad can come over whenever. Her mom was talking about coming and visiting. She does. I don't think she listens to the podcast, but just in case she does, you will have to go home. So I'm joking. And then my aunt from Michigan was like, let me know when the guest room's open. I'll come and stay. She goes, I love staying up all night with the baby. And I was like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, and like, what kind of condition do you have?
I've had multiple people like, we're gonna come and visit and we're gonna help with the baby, and I'm just like, I'm gonna have to like make up like a sign up sheet or something. Be like, you guys moved out, take care of the bedding, they get it washed, redo the bed, get the next one in. So, but
so names.
We can talk about it afterwards.
Little Dave.
We can talk about it afterwards.
You gotta figure it out.
Because
you're 12 weeks.
There is a name that I've wanted ever since that I was right. When I was a teenager, I found out that the name Dawson means son of David, and I
said this before.
And I said if I ever have a son, that's what I'm going to name him.
Even before Dawson Parker.
And yep. And then I was like, still like, you know what? Still gonna be Dawson. And then Earl and Maddie just had a baby, and they named him Dawson.
I know.
And I was like, bro, y'all couldn't wait. Like,
that's why you gotta get on that thing.
Give him a girly name so he winds up tough.
But we have a backup that both of us
call him decent.
We have a backup that both of us are pretty locked in on. Dawson. But yeah, when we get done recording, we'll I'll talk about it with you guys.
It's cool.
I'll put it out there. Somebody's gonna steal it.
Trying to think of something really stupid.
Lil Dave. So, but yeah, no, little one on the way.
That's awesome. I'm so excited for you.
What if you just named it Baby?
His nickname's Baby King.
Was it
everyone calls him Baby King?
Eric and
I think we might call him BK.
Eric and Bethany.
Seriously, BK or
Burger King.
Yeah, or Baby
Buster
King
Keaton
or Kingston Casimiro KC.
Because
I don't know, Kingston is a very strong name. So like Case and King is cool saying that together. Like, hey, Case and King, the boys, whatever. Saying like Kingston, like I say Case and Clark all the time. Case and Clark.
Yeah.
Kingston Casimiro. I don't know if that works.
This is
King Kaz.
Hey, here's a weird thing.
Yeah, King Kaz is another one. We King Kaz, KC.
Here's a weird thing. Nikki had a dream that she was pregnant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she took a test and it was like positive. That's how.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's what she was like. I had a dream that I was pregnant, and I was like, she's like, I woke up and went, just take a test.
Yeah.
She looking for a job.
If you have a dream that you're pregnant, Dustin, you should probably take a test.
I think I need to go to a hospital.
I think, but
something's not wired up right.
Well, we know who wears the britches in that family.
Dustin the seahorse. Seahorse sat off.
Dustin the seahorse.
Watch us get pregnant, give birth to like not a person. It's like some sort of creature.
I will say this, dude. We were absolutely terrified because twins run super heavy on Nikki's side of the family.
It's not twin. You already saw though.
So twins run super heavy, like, and it
but
always.
You already saw the ultrasound.
Yep, and it always skips. It always skips a generation in her family. So like,
bound to have.
So like, she doesn't have a twin, but her mom was a twin, and then her grandmother didn't have twins, but like above her was twins. So it was like it always skips a generation. Mm-hmm. So like, it almost seemed like God was out to get us, and we're definitely gonna have twins.
Well, no, what's gonna happen is you're gonna have you're having your one little angel, and then you're gonna she's gonna recover. Everything's gonna be great.
You're gonna do it again.
Be a perfect child. It's trick you into having another one, and you're like, well, let's have another one. And about 2 years later, you have another one, and it'll be twins.
Yeah,
and you're stuck with three, and they're gonna be two boys, Jonathan and Sons of Thunder. What was it, John and James?
Yep. She made the doctor check like 3 times to make sure there wasn't twins. She was like, there's one? And the doctor was like, yeah, there's one. She goes, could you double check? And she was like, yeah, I'll double check. And she's like, I'm seeing one. And Nikki was like so relieved. So relieved there's only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
She was stressing that one bad.
Wow.
You need to give it a name that like one of those baby names where like it's already an old man name.
I hope you know when you announce that you guys are having a baby, like you don't say one serious thing during the whole thing. You just like make jokes the whole time. Like, you should name it Butthead.
What?
You know, the whole time.
No, okay,
we're gonna say the whole. We're gonna be like wanting a serious conversation with your kid. We're like,
listen.
Oh hey, you should name it Darlene.
Have you ever seen a baby Greg? They're always it's a middle age. Like they just come out and they're 40.
I just heard the name Henry. I thought it was a cool name.
Henry.
It's an old name. You don't hear it.
Henry.
Yeah. Baby. Like as I haven't seen a baby Henry ever. And I saw a kid.
Got a cousin Henry. So
I saw a kid the other day named Henry. When's the last time you heard of a kid like a baby named Henry? It's a cool like it's old.
Well, like names are like
little
weird
Henny.
now, bro.
Yeah.
Like people be naming their kids weird stuff.
Yeah, or they spell it weird.
Yeah.
Yes. Because like I looked at like on the internet was like let's get baby name ideas, and I read half of them and went,
nope.
Yeah, there's a lot.
What?
Yeah.
What are people doing to these poor children?
It's kind of weird, but it's all like it's a normal like it's a last name. Like there's Kingston ever since like naming him that like Kingston Auto Kingston.
Yeah, I told
it's all kinds of
Eric,
stuff.
Eric, because when he was born, you sent me the picture. Right. We were singing congregationals on a Wednesday night, and you sent me the picture of him. So Eric sits right in front of me, so I leaned forward and I was like, "Look at that!" And Eric goes, "What's his name?" I said, "Kingston," and he goes, "Like Kofi Kingston, who's a WWE wrestler?"
Yeah, right.
He's like Kofi Kingston. I was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "All right." So,
or you're saying start naming him after all the towns in Delaware.
Yeah.
Harrington, Little
Georgetown.
Harry.
I'll tell you what
Harry.
I did think. I thought
Townsend.
we had Kaysen. I did like
CT.
I did like Clayton. No, I like Clay. The name Clay, but I don't like the name Clayton.
What about Sand?
So I didn't want to give him a name. I want to give like Kaysen has a name. You call him Case, but his full name's Kaysen.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go with just Clay. I wanted him to full like Clayton.
Yeah, because short would be Cla.
I don't like Clayton per se, and so I even thought Kenton. But I like the name Kent.
Yeah,
I think that's cool. And I might still use like Kent, but I don't really like Kenton. You know what I'm saying? I don't just want to give him a short Kent. You know,
so you guys, so are you guys doing the K's like throughout the?
Not even necessarily that. It's, I mean, I guess we are. Case, Cam, K. We would go with a C, but we just Kaysen was with a K. I liked it with a K. So I'm not sure what we're doing.
I just want to point out that if you guys have another kid, that's gonna get awkward.
Why?
K.
King. Oh, yeah, KKK. It's already KKK.
That's good.
It's Kayla, King, and Case.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
The truth comes out.
All K's? I don't even know.
Because you like to wear pointy hats.
All right.
We liked Kaysen, and because her name was Kay, that's what it was. We were like, I might as well put a K, so it could be like Kay's son.
K-A-Y-E is my mom's middle name. K.
Oh, cool.
I think we need to check his closet and see what kind of wardrobe he has.
Kaysen has a little towel. Well, I think we went with Kaysen because we like the name Kaysen.
Oh,
you can do it with a C, but it was like her name's actually in that, so we went with just the K.
Do you want to hear a funny story?
I guess. I kind of have to.
Yeah. So there's a guy I know. I say I know him. I haven't seen him in a very, 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 very long time.
But you know he's still there.
I assume he's still alive. But he got his girlfriend pregnant, and then he got in trouble and went to jail. While he was in jail, his son was born. His son's name is Caden. He, while in jail, while in prison, got his son's name tattooed on his arm. Gets out of jail and says, "Look at the tattoo I got.
It's spelled wrong.
It's Caden's name." And Caden's mom goes, That's not how you spell his name. I think he spelled it with a K, but his name is spelled with a C.
I've never seen Caden with a K, but they have it.
So, yep, that's a funny story.
Yeah.
Was the mom underaged? Is that why he went to jail? You said he got his girlfriend pregnant and then he went to jail.
Yeah,
those two things were unrelated. Okay. He went to jail because he was a terrible human being.
Well, it probably is spelled wrong because you're a child.
Yeah, he went to jail because he was just a dumb guy.
How is he now?
Huh? Is he I don't know. I know he moved to another state.
Where it was legal.
No, I heard there might be another warrant. I don't know. I don't keep up with him at all.
Yeah, I don't either.
Shut up, Dustin.
Sorry.
All right. I don't know what we accomplished. Well, there's a lot going on in the world.
Yeah, dude. There's
you guys
a lot,
know
bro.
Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter accident?
What?
Wait, catch up, bro.
Since when?
What? We bombed Iran.
You hold up, bro. There's a lot more coming. I'm about to have a lockdown. I'd love to do an interview with someone in 2019.
Dude, I have news for you.
How would you feel about spending the whole year not going anywhere?
And then possibly getting in trouble if you do.
Yeah.
I was in Georgia that year, and Georgia was like, "Yeah, forget it. Just do whatever you want." It was awesome. When I came home, I was like, I forgot that like everyone else had all these rules because like you had to wear a mask, you had to do anything. Like it was like normal life.
Yeah,
as soon as the virus got out in Georgia, it immediately died because it's hot as so hot there.
Let's go. I came home and I went to the store with my brother, and he's like, "Where's your mask?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, I was like, "Oh, I guess you guys are wearing them, aren't you?" I didn't even think about it. It did not affect us at all.
Yo, I worked at the school district when that happened, and I did not care about that stuff at all.
No.
And I was supposed to really care about it because I was around kindergartners.
Yeah, they're fine.
I was just coughing and high-fiving kids.
That's funny.
I do that in my spare time.
Someone asked us some questions.
Did they? About what?
Someone asked us. I forget. We'll do these and we'll get on.
Never had a wedgie, man. It's just never happened. Stop asking.
I haven't.
Is she still asking this?
No. No.
All right.
I forgot about that one. That was a while ago.
Austin, 1611. All right. This is a story about me doing something stupid and getting hurt in Mexico. We were at a missions trip. This is in response to our
self-inflicted episode. Yep.
We had a church grounds cleanup day. There was a row of storage units, and we were sweeping off the roof.
In Mexico?
Yep.
Is what you said. Okay.
Part of the roof was layered, so I was hopping down from one to the next, and then remembered looking up at the roof. I just fell through it, not being able to breathe. So, okay, let me reread that. Part of the roof was layered, so I was hopping down from one to the next, and then remembered. So he doesn't remember falling. And then next thing I remember was looking up at the roof I just fell through, not being able to breathe at all because the clay roof broke and jammed into my chest. It was actually the Lord because the roof jamming into my chest broke my fall. Some of the other storage units had locks, and they didn't have the keys for and metal pipes sticking up. Oh, man. Which would have been way worse. I'd say so.
Wow.
But I went back to work cleaning the property after that, so I came out of all that with a bruised chest for a month and some scratches. Have a good day. I've been listening from day one. P.S. The Mavericks getting the first pick is rigged. And the draft was tonight.
Cooper Flagg.
Cooper
Flagg went to Dallas.
Cooper Flagg. That's a strong name, too.
Cooper
Flagg.
Cooper.
Colleen Wheeler says, Chronological Bible.
Are you looking up Cooper Flagg?
Look up Mavericks.
The Dallas Mavericks.
They're a basketball team.
Yep, they are.
The
Mavericks select Cooper Flagg with the first pick in the 2025 NBA draft.
Hello, I've been listening for a month or so now, and I've really enjoyed it. I've heard you guys talk about different Bibles you've used. My husband is coming up on a year since he started full-time in ministry as the assistant pastor at our church.
Cool,
I'd love to get him a Bible for his 1 year. For his 1 year. Yeah. I was curious if you had links or could send what to look up for Bibles you've mentioned, especially the chronological Bible Cam got for Christmas, and and the one about numerology, I think it was blue. Or even any suggestions. I know you guys are busy, so don't feel obligated to respond. I just wanted to reach out in case. Thank you so much for your time and for the podcast. Finding a podcast that's wholesome feels near impossible. I appreciate your time spent recording and making one. Thank you.
If you go to churchofjesuschrist.org, you can get the Book of Mormon.
I was going to say Wheeler. Her name is Colleen Weller.
Personally, I like to use my when I'm studying for a message, I use my
Apocrypha
ESV Study Bible for Teens.
Yeah,
and
it's got a bunch of rat.
I don't know what. I mean,
I guess we're doing that.
I'm not sure. The Chronological Bible. It's literally called the Chronological Life Application Study Bible. There's notes from a bunch of different guys in there. I have that. It's a good one. I have the Kevin Mann Numerology Bible. You can look that up. I also have Ruckman's Reference Bible. I personally like that a lot. Your husband in your church, they may not. I have no idea.
Did you get the nice one, or did you get the...
That's the blue one she's talking about.
Is the Ruckman one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's like with the nice leather and stuff?
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah. I also... you can't really beat a Scofield Study Bible. There's also...
You know what my favorite thing about the Scofield Bibles? Is the uniformity.
Yeah. You can get
I love the fact that if everybody has a Scofield and... Like, if I turn to page 973 and you turn to page 973, it's all going to be identical. And this is just, I don't know if this is a preacher thing or if this is, or if I'm just autistic. But something that drives me crazy is the page references in the corner. So I have my Scofield, right, in the top page corner. Let's say I'm in... the first verse on that is 1 Samuel 7:14, right? In the top corner, it will say 7:14 because that is the first verse that's on that page.
Yeah, that's cool.
However, I have another Bible that's not really, it doesn't have notes or anything in it. It's just the Bible. And the reference, if the first verse is 1 Samuel 7:14, it will say 1 Samuel 18 because that's the chapter that starts on that page. Cool. No, it's not. That drives me insane.
Okay.
Because there's so many times where I'm trying to turn somewhere and I'm looking at those corner references and I'll go, okay, it's on the next page. And I'll flip the page and I'll go, no, the reference tricked me. And then I have to flip back. And that stuff drives me crazy.
The Common Man Reference Bible is a good Bible. You can look that up. It'll be on like Bible Baptist Bookstore. Cambridge is a good Bible. I would stay away from anything that's like got super modern notes. The most modern one that I have is
Scofield.
Ruckman would be the most modern. And
true.
Common Man Reference is actually a newer one, but I'm not sure.
I would also say this.
If whatever your church is, they may not appreciate a Ruckman Reference Bible, like your husband may not. If you do, you do, and if you don't, you don't. It's just kind of that thing.
But
you're
on that.
There is a bunch of stuff. Like anyone who's honest can get a lot from Dr. Ruckman's writings. But there's also some stuff that you can't.
I'll also say this,
endorse,
just from a like a material standpoint. I don't know if this is a surprise gift for your husband, or if it's it's just something nice you're trying to do. But I would say try to figure out his preferences as far as Words of Christ in red and how many ribbon page markers are going to be.
And then do whatever you want.
And then the wide margin and stuff like that. Because if he's an assistant pastor, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he's had enough Bibles to where he really knows what he likes.
Yeah.
So if you can figure that stuff out, you can go onto was it localchurchpublishers.com?
Local church publishers or
just church publishers and
church Bible publishers or local church Bible publishers.
And you can go on there and you can find through a bunch of categories.
And they'll have all kinds of. They'll have the Schofields.
Whatever you're looking for.
You don't have to get a Schofield brand Bible. You can get a Bible with Schofield notes in it.
Yeah.
So church Bible publishers they'll have the Cambridge. They'll have the Schofield. And it's all good. Dustin, you were going to say something.
I was just going to say, this isn't inherently a Bible. Have you ever heard of the story? They take the Bible, they move it around in chronological order, and you can get it in KJV. but they make it one continuous story like you're reading a novel. So it's a way you can...
Is that what I have down here?
It's similar. What is it? Let me see it. No. It looks like this.
It's probably similar to what you have.
So it's KJV like scripture, but they make it
read like a.
They make it read like a novel. So there's like actual. There's
a
book chapters, not like book chapter verse like in there. So you read through it. You literally read.
What happens when you get to like the Chronicles and stuff where you're reading the stories twice?
So that kind of stuff like they would like take out. It's all in chronological order. So they would mix some of that together to make it read as one continuous story.
There's just one gospel instead of all the gospels because they all say the same thing.
So it's just Luke.
They would.
It's just Luke, the guy who had all the details. No, that's pretty interesting. Which raises a question.
Looks like that.
And we don't have to get into it because this is gonna. If we got into it, this would take a very, very long time. But it does make me raise a question that me and some of the guys at church have been talking about lately.
# Friday Night Worship.
Nope, I haven't been there.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I don't get invited. I'm just joking. No, I haven't been though.
Do you even know what I'm talking about?
No.
You don't?
I'm assuming we're talking about two different things then.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I put it together what you said now.
Yeah.
#.
Oh, no. I thought you started. There's a group of young guys at our church that get together and preach at each other on Friday nights. I thought that's what you were talking about. And I was like, no, I haven't been invited to that.
That's something.
I haven't been invited to either one of the things that we're talking about.
You're not a young man.
Huh? I'm the youngest man alive.
That's cool.
But anyway, the question that we've talked about, and we've been kind of bouncing around and just kind of arguing for no reason, really no reason at all. Chapter and verse markings, are they inspired?
I think God definitely inspired the King James translators and helped them with all that. Yeah, I don't think it's coincidence that.
So you think the verse numbers?
I don't know if the verse numbers, but I think it's all set in the right place. I think God led them. God moved in so many ways. Why wouldn't he move in that way? Like I don't. And every other translation uses the King James translators, like chapters and verse markings. And I do think there is something to do with numerology. Like I don't think all of it is inspired, but there's definitely there's something to it.
What do you think?
I mean, I would agree with him because we just talked about something like kind of similar to this about like the Geneva Bible versus KJV. And
you can rattle off a lot of information when it comes to the numbers and a lot of things that do line up and that I feel like are like, okay, God is very, very organized.
Yeah,
if you believe God had any hand in the King James translation, in the translators themselves, like if you have any belief in that, which we all do, then it doesn't surprise me at all that them setting all that stuff out.
I think there's if you're looking at it from maybe a more like statistical standpoint, I guess, I mean, it has the longest duration of use of any like translation that there was.
Yeah.
Right. And so here's the only thing I would say to that. Because honestly, I wouldn't say that I'm on one side or the other firmly. But the only thing I would say to that is I personally think that if you handed me a King James Bible
with nothing
that didn't have chapter and verse markings in it, I still believe I would have the Word of God.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So to me, I'm like, so if that's the case, can I really say that I think that?
Well, that's not. Now, it doesn't. The argument doesn't make any sense then.
Well,
but I do think it makes it. Is it better with or without?
Jeremy, this is what Jeremy told me. Jeremy said that the chapters and verse markings are obviously preferred, but they're there. They were a fantastic idea, a very, 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 very good idea, great idea, even huge,
huge.
Because one, it makes it easy to study, and everybody can be on the same page when you're talking about stuff and all that other stuff. But as far as the chapter 39 being the inspired word of God, I don't know if I'm completely on board with that.
I don't think it matters in the long run. But
no, it doesn't matter. Which is why we can argue about it, because it doesn't.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you imagine like preaching and being, all right, go ahead, open your Bibles to, and then just read the verse, and then it'll be like, and then everyone's got to like,
to depart.
Could you imagine if there wasn't chapter and verse markings? It'd be the most miserable thing ever.
But you have to read the verse. Flip to this verse. It's like right after this.
So are the names inspired?
What names?
The names of the books.
The names of the books. I would assume so.
Romans, Acts, James. It's just his name. Take all those out too and see what you got. You just have the name of the person who wrote it. Isaiah, Job. You know what I mean? Like,
Paul said this to these people.
Yes. Yeah. Finally, Hebrews, like, James, Revelation.
No, I mean, like, I feel like the names got to be right because, like,
John wrote the book of Revelation. Did he write the book of Revelation?
Oh, see, I don't know. I don't know if he wrote that or not.
That's why you just need to use a Pigeon Bible.
Did Paul write a letter to the Ephesians?
Yeah. I'm saying, like,
I mean, he did write a letter to the
book
Ephesians.
of the Ephesians. It's a letter.
Yeah,
that someone
did
said.
He write,
it's the
did
book
he write at the top?
That's
letter
why
to the
it's
Ephesians.
the canon. There's a lot that like you can't get. God moved on men.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Put all this stuff together. So yeah, I think the book of Ephesians, like we have the book of Ephesians, Philippians, Hebrews, Philemon, Galatians, Philippians, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Like, is the name inspired? I don't know, but that's what they're supposed to be.
Right.
It's the canon. Like that's what God's word is.
I'm not arguing.
But my point is, it's kind of the same as the numbers.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter one way or another. I don't think, which is why those are the fun things to argue about. I'm not gonna.
That's fun. I'm having a blast.
Huh? Listen.
All right, we need to wrap it up. This kid needs to go somewhere.
Somewhere.
All right.
You can't send.
You can't. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
I'm going to be going next week to camp.
Baby.
He's not going. You guys should record next week.
That's what we're talking about, the remote thing. We can probably figure that out, make it easy.
Yeah, we can figure something out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, love you guys. This time, next week, maybe we'll get an announcement that Dustin's having a baby.
Yeah.
So, by proxy.
You can hope for
his
it.
wife.
You're going to catch it.
Proxy is his wife.
Yeah.
It's airborne. You're going to catch it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. Tune in next week for These Bozos recording.
Good company, episode 3 coming your way.
I was going to say.
Peace out.
Calm down, it's fine, take it step by step. We're sitting on the couch, laughing at the missteps. Cam, David, and Dustin guiding our ride. Embrace the absurd, let the good vibes collide.